What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. For all my recruiters and candidates out there, I know it's been about 2 weeks since I did a video. Don't worry, I didn't go anywhere. I just been a little caught up adjusting to a new role within my job currently and all the growing pains that kind of come with that, which is essentially the subject matter of this video today. Before I get into that, I want to share some exciting news. If anyone has gotten tired of me talking about the perspective of the recruiter and the candidate and how we go about bridging that gap, I got something for you. Just connected with someone that I worked with a couple months ago that just started at Microsoft I think last week. He's agreed to come onto the channel, so now instead of just listening to me talk about recruiter experiences and things like that, this individual was kind enough to agree to, you know, come onto the channel and have a discussion with me, basically to validate me a little bit. Nah, that's jokes, but if that's something that would interest you. You know what the next step is. Go ahead and subscribe so when that video comes out, you'll be the first to watch it. And while you're at it, hit that like button as well. But yeah, let's get into it.
No Thanksgiving. I ain't even trying to preach, but remember around with the deacon. Windows low in the wintertime, me and my dog freeze. Motivation if you need it.
So I mentioned a new role that I started a couple weeks ago. Probably no surprise that I was asked to kind of shift my focus into a different organization within my company, that being technical sales as opposed to software engineering. Can't say I'm necessarily happy about it because I really do love talking to software engineers specifically. And kind of nerding out in that sense, but I'm just grateful that they found use for me instead of just giving me the axe. I think the last video I did, I spoke about hiring freezes and whatnot, and it's still not looking great. So either way, as I got started, last week, having my first few calls with technical sales individuals and doing phone screens and getting them set up for interviews, first interviews tomorrow. It was like, I got really comfortable in my role previously speaking with developers, and I feel like I got a little frustrated. Felt like I was back at square one again, not knowing what the hell I'm talking about. They gave me information, but it takes time to be able to really articulate what's going on with that role and figure out what a good match is and how I can help the candidates that I'm working with and see if they'd be a good fit, and also see if this is maybe something you might be interested in, that type of thing. So first few calls, really stumbling over the whole cadence and the I guess the flow. I really felt like it was my first week as a recruiter as a whole, again, and that was not a fun time, just to be honest with you. I was like a deer in headlights. So the reason why I mentioned earlier that I wanted to make this video specifically for any new recruiters out there, maybe someone who just got a job as a recruiter for the first time, I want to let you in on a little secret. You have no idea what the hell you're doing. And that's okay because, you can't go to college for being a recruiter. There's no degree for this. You learn as you go. You get thrown into the fire, then you kind of figure it out. Another reason why I like doing these videos. But that's how I was feeling again. And it's been kind of humbling because it's forced me to take a step back in terms of how I've gotten to like a certain comfort level as a recruiter. A lot of times that comes with research, really just knowing what you're talking about, helping you be confident on the phone, be ready to answer any type of question that comes your way because you just know what you're talking about. You're not BSing anybody. Sometimes how you get that information, those resources may not be anywhere. You can't Google some of these things. The one, I guess, recruiter life hack that I had to pull out of my toolbox once again this past week was kind of like a mindset shift. Be okay with being a student. Take that type of approach. You got to put the work in and ask your colleagues certain questions. Shadow some calls of some other recruiters that's been doing it for a while and just kind of learn the flow of things. But in terms of learning what it is that you're recruiting for, who better to learn than from the candidate you're speaking with? Now, of course, you're not going to be saying, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Candidate, I don't know what the I'm doing. Can you tell me what you do? Because I have no clue. That doesn't really instill the type of confidence that a candidate is going to be looking for to really trust that, hey, this is a good job opportunity. What I mean by that, when you're doing your phone screens, you're asking these questions. You might be thinking in your head, what kind of questions should I be asking to be able to determine if this is a good candidate or not? And that's fair. But for the sake of learning, open yourself to being a student. Like speaking with a candidate that's a free clinic right there. That's a free lesson. Use that time to indulge in curiosity. Don't be afraid to sound like, oh, I'm asking dumb questions. That's okay. I mean, more often than not, I think candidates kind of appreciate that curiosity. The fact that you're taking the time to really try to dive in. If you feel like your line of questioning is really showing how green you are, to this day, I'll even just let them know that, hey, this is my curiosity here. I'm just trying to learn a little bit. Can you explain this a little bit more? A few calls go through and then you're hearing some of the same things. Take stabs at, like, hey, let me make sure I got this right. And I'm gonna take a stab. And you kind of frame it as, I'm probably gonna crash and burn here, but I'm gonna try. At least show that you're trying and you're not just a robot. They may start talking to you in a way where it's like they're trying to teach you, which, okay, that happens, that's fine. But as they're opening up and they're sharing things, you're going to start to learn about what they're interested in, their passions, what they're looking for. Those things are very important. And to be able to, from there, learning about what they do and, based on the training that you did get in terms of the role you're recruiting for, you'll start to see, oh, I've heard that before, that matches up, yada, yada, yada. And then you've kind of built up a dialogue to now be able to help them, you know. So that was a rant that I hope that made sense. But for new recruiters or for, recruiters that have been doing it for a while and then just kind of moved to a different role or they're recruiting for a new business need, the best resource a lot of times is that candidate. And as you're learning from them and asking your questions just to learn and indulge in that curiosity, you'll be surprised how much you get to know them and how much they appreciate that as well. But yeah, that was just a quick little rant, something that I've been dealing with since, starting the new role. But yeah, go ahead and once again, like the video, subscribe, share this with anybody. If you're interested in hearing from someone other than me, an actual real life software developer, make sure you come back, keep an eye out. Me and him, we're going to be working on that. So that's coming soon. Until then, that's it. I'm the Deacon. Peace.